Oh yeah, hey. So I was gonna make this video a while ago, but some things happened, like I got married, but also I ordered some belts to fix two of these microcassette players, and the belts just showed up in the mail. But then I also ordered some mini cassettes because I wanted to show those off, and those never showed up in the mail. So, you know, I don't know where those are. If those ever show up, or if I ever get a hold of some, I'll make a follow-up, but you know, this is what we got. So here are the microcassette players. So first things first, this isn't a microcassette player. This is a compact cassette player. But I want to point out some of the differences between the compact cassette and the later microcassette. So generally, the microcassette players were a lot smaller than compact cassette players. Well, the tapes are a lot smaller. You know, if I try to put this in a cassette player, it just kind of rattles around in there. You know, it doesn't really play or do anything. Now, microcassettes were actually invented by Olympus, which I thought was interesting because Olympus is, from my understanding, mostly an optical company making like microscopes and cameras and things of that nature. But they also had some dictation machines, which is how they ended up creating the microcassette. A few differences between the microcassette and the compact cassette that you might know. Big one is that the microcassette actually has two pads instead of one, and it runs in the opposite direction. So your cassette would run from the left spool to the right spool. Microcassette runs from the right spool to the left spool. Now, because it has the two pads on either side, the pinch roller and capstan are actually right in the middle of the tape, which is another difference. Comparing the tape itself, the tape width is actually the same as the compact cassette. Speed-wise, the microcassette is either 50% or 25% of cassette speed. So, for example, your cassette, if we're talking in microcassette terms, your cassette is going at 4.8 centimeters per second, and the microcassette is going at either 2.4 or, for the slower speeds, 1.2. Now, because the two ways to get a tape to sound good are either to add more tape, make the tape bigger, or add more tape horizontally, making the tape go faster, it does make sense that, well, if the tape is going slower, it doesn't sound quite as good, which is why you saw the microcassette basically be used for dictation. There are some people who release music on microcassette, to this day, I've been told, but it's dictation for the most part. So up first, of course, we have this realistic microcassette player. Very cool, classic, very plastic. Awesome. It's got all the basic stuff. Ear, mic, the light. They all have a light, usually. It's got the tape counter, which is awesome. Really great for keeping track of where you are in your dictation. Tape speed, of course, two of them. It's got voice actuation. You can set it to low or high. My understanding is that is essentially so that to save tape, it won't record unless it hears someone's voice, and then it'll kick it up. Though I'm going to Google that and check to see if I was right, because I'm just going off the top of my head that I think that's what it is. On the side, it's got your volume control. Very good. Stop, eject. It sure does. Fast forward /Q, rewind / reverse, play, and record play. Pop a tape in a... Let's test all our functions. Play. It is. Fast forward. It is. Rewind. It is.
Yes, so we're recording on the realistic Micro 18 microcassette recorder. I'm gonna play it back and hold the recording and micro guy in front of the microphone, and it'll sound real bad, but here it goes.
Trying the voice actuation feature. It's set to high. I'm going to start the recording and not say anything. I bet it's going to start moving when I start talking. Hello. I actually do have the box for this one also. Realistic Micro 18. A lot of them have these red boxes, which is pretty cool. Oh, Radio Shack. I can't remember where I got this one for sure. I'm pretty sure I got it from my father-in-law. Either that or I got it from my mom. No, this is the one from my father-in-law. The one from my mom I gave to Aria. Well, back in the box you go, I suppose. Huh? Another red box. Realistic, voice-actuated microcassette recorder. Now, you might be thinking, hey, didn't we just look at a realistic voice-actuated microcassette recorder? Yes, we did, but you don't understand. This is the Micro 18. And this one is the Micro 25. That's 7 more micros. Opening the box reveals that the styrofoam is still in here. The wrist strap, of course, very important. Little headphone, very crusty, fused with the styrofoam apparently. And the manual. Very nice illustration. Tells you where everything is. Installing the batteries. Somebody highlighted, insert microcassette tape surface up with the side to be recorded/played facing outside. Place it so the full reel is opposite the arrow point. The arrow indicates the tape travel direction. Selecting tape speed, recording operation, playback, oh, keep it dry. How to clean your tape head, specifications, schematic diagrams, very cool. The Radio Shack limited warranty. But here is the boy. It's in this leather case, which I really like. So up here we've got our volume/mic sensitivity, ear, mic, normal playback or fast playback feature, and this Vox feature, which is essentially just the voice actuation that the other one had. Tape speed, of course, down here, 2.4 or 1.2. Similarly, it has the play record buttons, stop, eject, rewind, fast forward, also reverse and cue. Very good. It also has a little pause switch up here. So if you're playing, you can just, to pause, unpause. A couple of double A's will get this bad boy going. A couple of double A's will get me going, if you know what I'm saying. Like poison me if I ingested batteries, is what would happen. Oh, also on the side, it actually has a 3-volt DC and a spot for a remote. It didn't come with a remote, but, Wait, hold on, I might have one. That's a remote.
Oh yeah, okay. So we're recording something on the micro 25 microcassette recorder. We're gonna see if it works, and then we'll probably test the remote right after that.
Put the remote in. Press play. Move that to pause, and it doesn't move. And then I move it.
Oh yeah, okay. So we're recording something.
Very cool. Really cool. Really neat. Says realistic on the front. I really like this one. Says Japan on the back. But that's enough of things with, boxes and manuals and instructions and crap. Let's see something that doesn't have any of that. So this guy is a Sony M-100MC. Now, I had wanted one of these for quite some time, and my wife, then girlfriend, bought this one for me, used off of eBay untested, and unfortunately it didn't work. When I put batteries in it, there wasn't even any motor noise. It just didn't work. I was really disappointed by that, and it sat on a shelf for a really long time, which it can do with this little kickstand. Ho, ho, ho. Ho, ho. Look at that. No, I decided to take another look at it when I decided I wanted to do this video. I pulled the entire thing apart, and in the process of pulling it apart, knocked something back into place so that the motor started working again. And then I discovered that there was a belt that had disintegrated, as belts tend to do. So I replaced the belt, and it should be working now. I'm going to put some batteries in it to make sure, because it would be really embarrassing if it had stopped working in the 20 minutes between fixing it and doing this. Slide a couple double A's in this boy. Hey, it still works. That's pretty cool. Insert here the footage of me fixing it. Now there are 5 screws holding this all together, located 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So if I'm taking it apart, it would have already been slotted into here. All the buttons just slide up through there. And it just pops into place there. And if you want to take it out, you do it in reverse. Now there is this ribbon cable here, which attaches to this little board right in here. So if you're going to take this out to make it easier, I would highly recommend disconnecting this ribbon cable, and it connects right in there like that. So if you're taking it apart, that just slides out. Move it out of the way so you can safely remove this piece. On here, there are 2 screws, right there and right there. Little gold screws, and they got arrows pointing right to them. If you take those screws off, which I'm going to do in a second, all of the mechanical bits lift apart from the board. Now, 2 things you got to watch out for. This ribbon cable right here loops around the front and back here. Just make sure it doesn't get caught on anything. And these wires right here, which go to the motor. Just make sure they don't get caught on anything. Okay, so now I have those 2 screws out, and everything will sort of just pull apart as I need it to. Minding the ribbon cable. That can pull apart now, and you can now replace the belt. Okay, so because this thing wasn't working before, I actually don't, I'm not familiar with anything on here. So, process of discovery. So we got the little kickstand on the bottom, which is very cool. You can set it up on a table, you know. Yeah, very good. The wrist strap, of course, very important with the Sony branding. We've got the tape counter, very important. There's a battery indicator, which I really like. And that little light there shows you how much battery life you have left. My batteries are right in the middle. Not dead, but not doing super hot. So then we've also got a mic mode, lecture, meeting, dictation. My first thought was that it was like that voice actuation Vox kind of stuff, but that's back here. So if you turn that on, you know, it won't record audio if it's not hearing audio. It even says that to ensure continuous recording when sound level is low, set VOR to off. It's got that fast playback switch again. Tape speed 2.4 centimeters or 1.2 centimeters. Earphone and a DC in of 3 volts. Controls on top, your volume, very good. There's a pause switch, push it back and it's pause. I think you'd be holding it like this probably, so pause. There's your, of course, fast forward, rewind. When play is held down, they function as a cueing, which I think is really cool. I like having all of these as thumb controls in a really easy to hold little shape. Of course, your record, stop and eject. Then it also has this guy up here, push cue marker. I assume that puts like a beep or something in the tape so that you can find things easier. I don't know. I've never used this thing before. It wasn't working like an hour ago, so let's pop a tape in it.
Oh yeah, hey, I'm recording into the Sony little microcassette fella that wasn't working before, but it's working now. Here we go. Let's see what it sounds like. I'm also gonna push the cue marker button right here. I don't know if it did anything. I'm gonna push it again. Yeah, let's see. Oh, I know. So the mic mode is set to lecture right now. I'm going to switch it to meeting. And now I'm going to switch it to dictation. And I'm going to switch it back to mic. Another cue marker just for the heck of it. And let's see what any of that was.
Okay, so the mic mode seems to just be how much of the surrounding area it's picking up, with dictation being the thinnest or the smallest. That makes sense. Dictation is just going to be you talking into it. Meeting would be a small group of people, and lecture would be a big hall. So it makes sense. And as a result of this, the recording also got a little more pleasant to listen to the closer I got to dictation, which I guess is where it should have been. So I apologize for that. It occurs to me that I didn't actually demonstrate the fast playback function. Here's that.
Oh yeah, hey, I'm recording into the Sony little microcassette fella that wasn't working before, but it's working now.
Yeah, it's exactly what you would expect it to be. Since these are used for dictation, if you want to listen to it a little faster, you record something on something like this, and then you type it all out later when you have the chance to go back and listen to it. So, yeah, it makes sense that you would have that fast playback function. I think that's a good function. I also have this one, a GE microcassette recorder with 2 tapes, 2 batteries. Oh, it's a microphone, a little clip-on microphone. Yeah, like it says right there in front of me, dummy. The packaging is already like cracked, so, it's been exposed to air, but I don't know if I want to open this one. I kind of like leaving it in the packaging. Plus the packaging has this nice little lip here, so it stands up on its own, like on a shelf, which is where I've had it. I think it's cooler to leave it in the packaging, so I'm just going to keep doing that. Fast playback, very good. Auto voice record, or AVR, which is Vox, which is voice actuation, which is whatever this one called it. VOR. It's all the same thing. It does the same thing. record, play, pause, stop, eject, rewind and fast forward over here, half speed and normal, and I assume that's your AVR right there, on or off. So I just bought this one. This is a microcassette answering system. So I've actually only had this one for about a week. I bought it actually on my wedding day because the wedding venue has an antique store attached to it, like in the same building right next to it. And oh god, it's alive. Hold on. Anyway, I had showed up early, like before it was time to take pictures and get changed and everything. So I just kind of bummed around the antique store for about an hour, and I ended up buying this. So, you know, there you go. Happy wedding present to me. So this guy flips open. There's already a tape in it, apparently. That's cool. I think I remember putting that in there. Tape's right there. You can hit play. And it will play. You can pause and play. It will do both of those things. You can rewind, and it will also do that.
Hello, this is my outgoing message. We're giving it a shot. See what it sounds like.
Yeah, so that's actually an outgoing message that I recorded. Sorry, you can push OGM for outgoing message, and you can record an outgoing message. And then you can hit OGM play if you want to listen to it. So like here, it'll play my outgoing message.
Hello, this is my outgoing message. We're giving it a shot. See what it sounds like. Here we go. Please take your name and number after the beep.
It's a answering machine. I don't have a landline phone. It's in a mood. This next one. Here's the box. It's a little, the box is a little larger than the other ones. So this is the Panasonic RR-900D microcassette transcriber. So here it is. Microcassette transcriber. Plug her in. You can't use batteries with this. Sorry. On this side, we have mic, remote, monitor, which is just speaker, earphone, 8 ohms. Very cool. And the remote/review, which I'll show you in a second. So on the top, we have the power button. It'll show you 3 lights: power, running, and record. Power is on when it's on. Running is on when it's running, and record is on when it's recording. See, power is on right now. Now it's running. Speed control, SP, standard play, LP, long play. It's just the 2.4 and the 1.2 again. But there's also a speed slider here, so you can make it faster and slower if you want. There's a tone control. There's a volume control. Tape counter. Pause. Bada bing, bada boom. Little buttons down here. Stop, eject. Review or fast forward. Cue or I guess that'd be fast forward since it goes the other way. So review or rewind. Yeah. Cue, forward, great. Play. And of course the record button. There's also a backspace control, which has to do with the foot pedal that I will show you in a second.
Oh yeah, hey, I'm recording into the Sony little microcassette fella that wasn't working before, but it's working now. Here we go. Let's see what it sounds like. I'm also gonna push the button right here. I don't know if it did anything. I'm gonna push it again. Yeah, let's see. Oh, I know.
Okay, so the other thing in the box, aside from 2 really great pieces of styrofoam, is the foot pedal. So this is the remote. Lots of pins, very good. It can only go in a certain way because there's one spot where there's a pin missing. So if I hit play, nothing's going to happen because I have to, hit play on this guy. So we have our start pedal. Assume your foot's right here, and then you lean it to the side. Start. And then if I take my foot off, it stops. Now, I'm going to fast forward it quite a bit because I want to show you this backspace control. Actually, let's just flip the tape over so we can do this as many times as we want. So it's playing, you hit play, and then when you let go of play, it'll go back a certain amount of time depending what this dial is set to. So if it's set to 0, hit play, let it go, it just stops where it's at. If I set it to 2, hit play, it'll go back just a little bit. I can set it to like 6, hit play, it'll go back a little more. Set it to 10, hit play, it'll go back a little more. This is basically like a quick rewind feature. If you need to hear somebody say something multiple times, or if you know you're going to need to hear something multiple times, you would say, you know, oh, I'm going to set this to 5. Listen. Okay, let's hear that again. Beautiful. Now you can hear it again. Okay, I got one last thing. This one actually isn't a microcassette recorder. So I mentioned that the microcassette was created by Olympus. Well, Philips, who had the compact cassette, wanted a response to that because they're like, we're the cassette people. We need, you know, our own mini version of the cassette. Oh, let's just call it a mini cassette, but also call it micro. You know, just to confuse people. But it's the micro 2, so it's our version. Oh, you know, the classic. You can only take it to certain places. Blah 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 blah. General Electric owner registration. Awesome. Use and care guide for the portable microcassette tape recorder model 3-5330. Just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Yeah, and here, so in a lot of places around this, it keeps saying micro because it wants to trick you, I assume. And here it says, caution. There are other similar looking tape cassettes on the market. When obtaining additional tapes, be sure to purchase mini cassette tapes suitable for your rim drive recorder. Yeah, so they make sure to point out here, listen, when you're actually buying tapes, don't buy microcassette. I know it says micro everywhere, don't buy microcassette. Really solidly constructed, like actual metal construction, which is really cool. I also had to replace a belt on this one, but it was a lot less invasive. The back just pops off and then the wheels are exposed. You just slide the belt in. So, going around it, DC external power. It doesn't tell you what it is. You'd have to look in the manual for that. Spot for your wrist strap. On the other side, ear, mic, remote. Not necessarily in the order I just listed them. Ear, remote, mic. All your controls are on the side on one handy knob. Right now it's on stop. You can move it to play or preview, which is just your fast forward. Come on, camera, focus. Stop, reverse, or rewind, which is one queuing feature. And of course, there's a little stop feature right there. Your record button is on top, and you can hit that to stop it. Volume, microphone, and all your great stuff. One of the things I really like about this one is it slides open, like so, and when you need to get to the battery, you just keep sliding it. And there your battery goes. Now all your controls, it's playing, it's fast forwarding, it's stopped, it's rewinding. You can hit record. You don't have to hit record and play at the same time, which I think is kind of cool. Just hit record, and it's going, and then stop to stop it. Now, it is worth noting that, this is not a microcassette player. The spools are a different width. The tape is a slightly different size. You can't put a microcassette in here. But I was waiting on some mini cassettes in the mail, and they got lost in the mail. So if they ever show up, I'll do a follow-up on this one. But if not, you know, whatever. But anyway, that's all of my microcassette and mini cassette recorders. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Get out of here, you. Go on. Get, you rapscallion, you rascal. Get out of here.
Sons. Look at my sons. Ollie and Tommy, my sons. My boys.